I love this next poem. Let's have a big hand for Louise Belcher.
Good job, you star, you.
Thank you.
What the? What did you do? What did you do to Tina?
It was Tina's idea.
I've heard in interviews before you said that Taxi Driver was somewhat autobiographical because you felt alienated, and then you found the metaphor of the taxi.
Yeah, I've written or tried to write a couple things that were semi-autobiographical. I mean, they're never as good as the things that are an arm's length away. When I was trying to write something that was really about me and my family and my brother, it never really quite worked.
You wrote with him? Your brother?
We started out writing together, yeah.
Did you write Mishima with you?
Yeah. He went to Japan to get out of Vietnam.
That movie was about a guy who was gay for swords or something? I'm sorry. He's a guy who created stories and then made himself into a story.
His death was a reenactment of one of his plays.
The Harakiri.
Seppuku, yeah. He did a movie called Seppuku, and his death is the movie. The movie was a rehearsal for his actual death.
Oy vey.
And
it's a little bit showboaty, no?
Well, he's very intentionally showboating.
Do you consider that film to be your opus or masterpiece?
Well, it certainly is the most unique.
You really went for it there.
Yeah, it's one of a kind film, and I really appreciate the courage that I had at that time. Although you don't think of it as courage at that time, you think of it as problem solving. But the problems were so interesting, the solutions became interesting. And how that idea came about was, Taxi Driver was a story of the pathology of suicidal glory. This notion, often Christian notion, that through my own suffering I can transcend myself, whip myself,
the
whatever.
Via Dolorosa.
Yeah. And I want to do another film like that. And I thought, wait a second, if I'm going to do another story about this subject, why don't I go to the other end of the bookcase? Go to the other end of the world, go to the Asian culture, go to a homosexual, go to a man who's extremely successful, go to an artist, a poet, who yet labors under the same pathology, that through Bushido, through self-sacrifice, I will transmogrify. Yeah. And so that became the sort of non-taxi driver, taxi driver.
Toronto, Cannes, Berlin, and Sundance, everybody chat about. Good movies, chat about. Good movies, chat about. Good movies. Good movies. Good movies.
Oh, it's the Good Movie Chat About, where we have good chats about good movies with a great group of people in the chat. And me, Bobby, or Lergugu. All right, that's enough reverb. How's everybody doing? It's a Saturday night. We're a little bit later. Actually, here's a thought. Maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the time now. Because I'm just thinking, it's a question of, do we go 8 p.m. Friday, 6 p.m. Saturday, 6 p.m. Sunday, or do we go 8-8-6? Now, I come from the theater, and there, 8 o'clock is the go time on Fridays and Saturdays, and then Sundays matinee. Sundays earlier. And in fact, if you do a Sunday evening show, it will always start like at the latest 7:30. They don't even do it at 8. A lot of times it'll be a 7 o'clock go. So anyway, perhaps PTA Brewery we move to 8 p.m. time. We'll see. We'll see how this one feels. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, folks, we did it. It's another week of movies. I hope everybody was, if you were around last night for good old Casey at the bat. Hey, listen. I try to look when you go looking for hidden gems, you sometimes have to wade through a lot of crap. But I see Elliot Gould and Carol Kane, and I think, hidden gem? There's only one way to find out, folks, and we found out. They can't all be winners. That's right. So anyway, I wonder though. Just kidding. I know because it's me. What did I watch this week? Let's take a look. So Casey at the bat. This was actually, if I'm being honest, a very pathetic week. Let me tell you why. In my defense, because here we have Six String Samurai. Of course, that was last Sunday. You were all there, or many of you, I suspect. Oh, hello, Billy Bumfries. You do need to see Mishima, but that's okay. It should still be fun to talk about, even not seeing it. It's not really a movie that it's like spoilers, because first of all, it's a historical guy and event, so that's not a spoiler. And also just knowing it's very much a movie that needs to be experienced. Oh wait, I forgot that I'm gonna try to have background music now. So I'm gonna turn on the background music. Hopefully it's at a good level. Let me know if you're having trouble hearing me. Let me actually bring it down. Okay. So yeah, I watched Mishima. I actually watched it twice. I watched it I want to say like Thursday maybe. And then I watched it again today with the commentary, which I've heard before, but I genuinely think it might be the best director and producer, because Alan Poole is also really great to have on the commentary. So if it's on Criterion Channel, if you have it, certainly if you and also they have I think all of the special features, or most of them that are on the disc. It's like maybe my favorite Criterion. It's my favorite movie, but the disc itself, even if it wasn't my favorite movie, has all of the special features are so good. They add so much. Oh yeah. And it's a hard one to watch late because it's got it's moving constantly between different storytelling modes. And one of them is very much like a very theatrical. I could see it getting sleepy for somebody. If you're at all on the edge there. Anyway, I also watched One Battle After Another yesterday, just because it's actually my third watch. It's really good. I don't know. I just was kind of half participating in the strike, not really. And I just kind of wanted a nice, angry, current movie. And goddamn, did it serve. But here's the thing. Here's why I'm not watching as many movies. I've fallen behind my movies. And it's because I'm too in the X-Files. I'm too deep into X-Files. I'm loving X-Files too much now. Now I love too much the dynamic between Mulder and Scully. I love... Oh my god, I had the first episode with the Lone Rangers yesterday, the like weird conspiracy magazine guys. That has David Patrick Kelly's one of them. It got me really hyped. Hey, Bedpan Surprise. 35 stream streak. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's a good show to get addicted to. But usually when it's like, oh yeah, maybe I'll watch a movie. It's actually happened like 2 or 3 times this week. I started a movie and then was like, I just want to watch X-Files. And it's nothing against the movie. I was just like, and I think it also has to do with, I just need to get other times of day to watch movies. Because now end of day is like, well, that's my X-Files get sleepy time. Anyway. Then Casey at the Bat sucked. I didn't rate it though, because I did skip at least a third of it, if not more. It was basically half of it. Yeah, and that one sucked. Okay, let's do the dulls, because I'm really excited to get talking to about the actual movie here, because it's my favorite movie. Just in case it's not clear. There it is. Favorite films. Crown Jewel, Casey at the Bat. So we talked about all that jazz before. With our friend the dearly departed. No, he's still alive, but he's no longer on Twitch. ADHD MD, much love to him. And we're doing a Mishima today, so I just got to do Insider and Topsy Turvy. Could be coming. Pringles! Thank you so much for the sub for 4 months. Yeah, alright, so let's do some dulls. Okay. Box office game, February 11th, 2000. Wow, so I'm not even in high school yet. I'm still in 8th grade. Miramax, second week, February 2011. I mean, February 2000. I mean, February 11th, 2000. Miramax. David Arquette. Second week, Miramax. David Arquette, would he be top billed on a Scream? No, it would be Nev Campbell, right? No. Second week. It's not the Ready to Rumble movie, is it? Ready to Rumble? Come on. That wasn't number 1? Second week. David Arquette, top billed. It doesn't have Ready to Rumble. I'm trying to think of any other David Arquette movie from around this point. Oh, is it Drowning Mona? No, it's not on here either. Wait. Is it Scream 3? It was fucking Scream 3. I can't believe David Arquette got billed above Ned Campbell. Oh, you know what? I bet it was a contract thing. It's alphabetical. It's a contract thing. Okay. First week from 20th Century Fox, 15 million. Starring Leo. You know what this is? I know what this is. It's the beach. Oh! All right. Paramount. Okay, also in its first week from Paramount. I don't know who Mark Webber is. Okay, so this is a family comedy from Paramount. Let's look at the tagline. Okay, yep, I know what this is. It's Snow Day. That's Snow Day. Wow. Wow, Chevy Chase isn't even one of the top 3 build. Y'all know Snow Day? Rules were made to be frozen. That doesn't even make sense. What are you on about, Snow Day? Oh my god, get the fuck out of here. I don't think I ever actually watched it, but I definitely remember it. Okay, wait. First week for Disney, and it only made 9 million. 2000. Is this... Is this, Treasure Planet? Not Treasure Planet. It can't be. Oh wait, no, Jim Cummings. No, but Goofy Movie. Oh, is that Pooh? Jim Cummings, Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Well, 100 Acre Wood. What would it be called? Pooh? Pooh's Heffalump movie? It is animation. It's not Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It won't let me just guess Winnie the Pooh. Oh, the Tigger movie. Tigger had a movie. Thank you. That's an assist from Gitson and Billy Mumfries. I'm sharing that one with y'all. Okay. 7th week, 42 million from Universal. So it's been out. Okay, this one came out in December. December 99. Denzel Washington. Oh, I know what this is. No? Oh. I thought... No, this came later, didn't it? The hurricane came later. No, it was the hurricane. Okay. Pretty good. Pretty decent, I think. No, that is not here again. Okay. Movie to movie. Wait, no. Oh, it's because it's still the last game. Oh, okay. Nicolas Cage to The Graduate. Let's fucking go. Okay. Yeah, is there anybody else that I want to use besides Nicolas Cage? Yeah, no, okay. So we're going Nicolas Cage. We want to get to Dustin Hoffman. Or Anne Bancroft. Or William Daniels. Yeah, I know. Like, that's the thing, is I know that there's got to be, like, he's got to be in a movie with Dustin Hoffman. Okay, here's where we're gonna go. World Trade Center. Michael Pena. God, I forgot Michael Pena's in Jexy. I forgot about y'all remember Jexy? Y'all watching Jexy? Are you in the Jexy cult? Yeah, I'm gonna go Crash. Brian Phillippe. Okay, wait. Oh, okay. Ryan Phillippe. Gosford Park. Not the making of it. The actual movie. Okay. One of you get me to Anne Bancroft or Dustin Hoffman. Balaban. He's not in Asteroid City. He's not in Francis there. Balaban's gonna get me there. Balaban is gonna get me there. Is Bob in Tootsie? Actually, here, let me just go down to the 80s part of his. Yeah, Altered States. Ooh, Bob Roberts. City Slickers 2. Jacob the Liar. Trying to like. Oh wait. Okay. No. I got it. Okay. I got it. Asteroid City. Jason Schwartzman. I Heart. Huckabees. Dustin Hoffman. That's how you do it. That's how it's done. Shortest possible was 2. Oh, Anne Bancroft's in Honeymoon in Vegas. Oh, Bob was also in Midnight Cowboy. Okay. Ah, damn. I didn't go back far enough. I don't remember him in Midnight Cowboy. That's a great movie, though. Okay. My favorite one. Actoral. Though this one's been getting hard. Okay, no, this isn't. Okay, at least this is a younger actor because they started their career in 2014. Most recent 2025. Ooh, that one was really good. Comedy drama 8.3. Yeah, no, it's somebody still alive. Who had a... This is a really good score. This is probably one of the Best Picture noms. What's a comedy drama? That's this many letters. Science fiction adventure from 2 years ago. That also is really good. Oh, is it Dune Part 2? Okay, wait. Oh, it's Marty Supreme. It's Timothy. It's Timothy. I got it in the first. Got it in one. The 2014 one is Interstellar, I bet. Oh, wait, yeah. There it is. Interstellar. Oh, right. Men, Women, and Children. Terrible movie. Okay. Let's do the Cinematrix. We're making good time. Good time. Okay. Javier Bardem, Jessica Alba, Jamie Foxx. Punctuation mark and title. 1 to 3 word title. Okay, well, I just watched this last year, so I'm gonna take a really small percentage on Hamon. Wow, 6% for Hamon. Damn, people are pulling the deep cuts here. I thought that Hamon. Okay. The Sea Inside. All right, that one's pretty good. 3%. Oh, what's the Lyle Crocodile? That doesn't have a punctuation mark in it. All right, Jessica Alba. All right. 10% for Good Luck Chuck. Yeah, this is going to be number one answer. 58%. Oh, is Jessica Alba? Oh, wait, Javier Bardem. Billy Mumfries. Oh, wow, that was a 30%er, but I'll take it. Oh, you know what? Jessica Alba is in... What's it called? Movie 34? What's it called? Oh, no, Movie 43. Movie 43. Movie 34? She isn't... Oh, she's not! She's not in movie 40. I could have sworn she's in that. Is it movie 42? No. You know what? I'm giving up on that because I don't know what she's in. Okay, Jamie Foxx. Now, Jamie Foxx. One-word title, Ali. Because people are going to say Ray, but he's actually also in Ali, and he's really good. And Ali 2%. Oh, okay. But also, she's not in it. I could have sworn she was in it. All right. Let's go. Okay. Oh, no. When did the Annie remake come out? I think that was after 2015. Baby Driver, I think, was 2016, 2017. I'm trying to think what other Jamie Foxx. I mean, he was in the second Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, 6%. All right, that's decent. That's decent. Okay. Now I'm thinking for punctuation mark and title, there's gotta be something of like the booty call variety. I don't think he was in Booty Call, or like, was he in I'm Gonna Get You, Sucka? I don't think he was. But I mean, he was in the whole, like, In Living Color crew. So he was in a lot of those movies in the 90s as well. I can't think of another one with the punctuation mark title. Oh, that's gonna be a popular one, Comatose, but I'm gonna go with it because I'm over this. I don't like the Cinematrix. Yeah, 42%. But yeah. All right. All right. Folks, let's change the music. Let's change the music. And let's put this away. And let's get serious here. Let's talk about a real man of history. Of course, I'm talking about Paul Schrader. Actually, I forgot I wanted to do this before the stream. Hang on, Paul Schrader Facebook. I did want to look at Paul Schrader's Facebook with everybody. So actually, let's pull this back up. Jamie, can we pull that back up? All right. Here. Let's go to just where the posts are. Make that bigger so you all can read it. Okay. This is a pinned post. Okay. This was what gave me the idea to do this segment, was I saw this post yesterday. The WNBA Journal is a website which posts fabricated stories. I've blocked it, but I'm sure there will be more. It takes time and effort on someone's part. What do they get out of it? Paul, I don't know. I don't know. Hang on, I know there's some other ones. A test of my naivete. I always assumed the American public would rise up against a government-sanctioned brown shirts. 250 years of inculcated brainwashing would be a sufficient safeguard. Wow. I mean, look, not every Paul post hits. He does have some heaters. He also is basically a lib. Like, look. Is he the most, like, sophisticated of tastes? Well, he's a Swiftie. Do I need to say anything else? He's a dyed-in-the-wool Swiftie. He really loves Taylor Swift. All right. A noxious subgenre of YouTube narratives is suddenly everywhere. These overwritten voiceover bits of musical history most often feature Dylan, Sinatra, Cash, Presley. Who makes these, and more importantly, cui bono? I assume they are AI fabricated, but somewhere near the mouth of the pipeline must reside a human asshole. Oh, sorry, I realized I wasn't showing that. Sorry. Oh, man. He is so good. Follow the money. Follow the money. Cui bono. He's fucking sounding like like Walter Sobchak. He really is a very Walter Sobchak guy. Let's see. There's another good one. Oh yeah, he goes off about Magnificent Ambersons and about how it was ruined by the lead actor being bad. I saw that. Yeah. Hang on. There's some other good ones that I pulled aside. Okay, this is a heater. This is a good one because I agree with every word of this. Babylon 2022 popped on Prime, and I gave it a second look. I'd so anticipated the film 4 years ago and was so disappointed. It's even worse than I remembered. Everything that should have been easy to do right was wrong, all because of excess. Was there ever a party as debauched as in the 20s as the one which opens the film? Was there ever a so debauched party ever? Similarly, difficulties with early sound shooting. Every aspect overplayed. What a missed opportunity. An opportunity which won't come again. He's right.
He's right. Babylon sucks ass.
We are not here for the Babylon Reclamation Project. On the Good Movie Chat About, Babylon fucking sucks. Babylon fucking sucks. Chazelle frauded. That's actually not even true. I like Chazelle. Actually, I like the movie of his I like best is the one nobody likes. Which is First Man. I think First Man's good. Anyway. Okay, Nepo babies. Given Carl Reiner, not the kid's name. Not the kid's name. That's his dad, and the dad's name is spelled differently, Paul. Given Carl Reiner, Victoria Jones, and a long history of privileged children who have lost their way, I'm reminded of something I once said to Bruce Springsteen. Bruce, God gave you talent and a voice, but he gave you something more important. Successful children. Okay, Paul. Oh my god, Reiner murders. As remembrances emerge, the dimensions of these events take clearer shape. And they are the dimensions of Greek tragedy, patricide, matricide, and the ultimate dilemma of a parent. When does one give up hope for one's own child? Give up the belief that someone can change, that you can affect this change, that love can conquer anger. When does one cut oneself off from its own blood, from hope itself, even when it's apparent that you and your closest friends? He wrote this on Christmas Day. He wrote it on Christmas Day. This most recent Christmas. Oh, and this is also what he posted on this most recent Christmas. Merry Christmas. That's right. He posts AI art, and he frequently apologizes for doing it in the post. Not this time. This time it's just him caressing the Michelin Man as the baby Jesus. Paul, you crazy for this one. This is him loving Mastermind and Marty Supreme. I haven't seen Marty Supreme yet, but I did love Mastermind. This is him hating on Eyes Wide Shut. There was one more I really wanted. Oh my god, this one is kind of, I don't even want to read this one out loud. I'll leave this up for a second. You read this one for a second. I don't want to read this one out loud. My Curious Semitism is that this one's called, and I'm not going to read it, but there it is. You can, I don't know if you're watching this later. On YouTube, like and subscribe. You could pause it. I'm going to keep scrolling. There's sentimental. He loves sentimental value, which is good. Okay, this is really good. This one is really, really good. Legal question for the prurient. Every person of a certain age has imagined John and Jackie Kennedy making love. Now AI can visualize this. The Kennedys are public figures. Do their heirs have any right to prohibit this? This is what this man is typing, he's thinking about. And then he goes and he writes like, "Oh Canada," which is a heartbreaking, beautiful film. Or he writes like, "The card counter, of course, first performed." And he posts like this. At the same time, he contains multitudes. I think that was That may have been the last one, I think. Anyway. Oh, yeah. And then this. 40 years. Okay, actually, this is look at this great transition I did. Why Japan exiled a film about Yukio Mishima for 40 years. Because, here we go, folks. Now we can talk about it. This is our final film of Japanuary. And it's a film directed and written, or co-written, by the guy who wrote Taxi Driver, directed and wrote American Gigolo, bunch of stuff. Wrote a bunch of Martin Scorsese's best movies. Raging Bull, Last Temptation of Christ. My personal favorite, Bringing Out the Dead. Very underrated Scorsese. I stand that one hard. And this is what we're closing Japanuary on, is a movie by a fucking gaijin.
By a fucking gaijin. There's a fucking gaijin movie. A fucking gaijin directed this shit.
And he actually does use the word gaijin when he talks about it. I found so many great interviews with him because it finally premiered in Japan just a few months ago. Just in, I believe, end of October, beginning of November, the Tokyo International Film Festival, where it was supposed to premiere 40 years prior, 1985. This was actually a full co-production with Warner Brothers and Toho Studios. Toho, the biggest, for all intents and purposes, #1 studio, Japan. Historically, now, forever. It was filmed at the studio, at the giant Toho Studios, with Toho crews, an entirely Japanese cast. On any given day on the set, there would be no more than 5 or 6 people that could speak English, and never more than 3 or 4 people that were native English speakers. That was their first language. Like, there were people that also spoke English. And it was co-written, Paul Schrader, with his brother, Leonard Schrader. They have a cool relationship. They started out writing together. They wrote a movie for Sidney Pollack, which is really good, I recommend, called the Yakuza, or the Yakuza, if you're a fucking gaijin. White guy just learned the word gaijin. He's using it way too much. It was like, this fucking gringo, right, guys? This fucking gringo. I'm still one of them. So anyway, is a really great movie. It stars, get your DBJ emoji ready. It stars Robert Mitchum. It's really good. Robert Mitchum's awesome in it too. 70s Robert Mitchum, so he's like kind of old. Gaijins write movies like this. Yeah, the Yakuza is really, really fun, really great. Sidney Pollack movie. And actually, when they were making that, the star of the Japanese star of that movie, whose name is escaping me now, they had talked with. It was his idea, kind of, because Mishima, this whole historical event, which we'll talk about, happened at the very end, in the end of November of 1970. And yeah, there you go. Take an ad break, please. There's our Mitchum. So it was end of 1970, and then I feel like I forget exactly when Yakuza was, but it was only a few years later. They were filming it, and he was like, this is a really interesting story. Like, this guy, like everything about it, like he kind of put the bug in their ear a bit. And if people are around for the pre-show, Paul Schrader, he talks about this a lot, actually. It's like every interview he's ever given about Mishima, he says the initial impulse for why he wrote it was because when Taxi Driver came out, he got a lot of criticism that, he was cruel, basically, to Travis, that he had to write him as very, low-class, uneducated, that it was sort of, looking down at him, and that it was a very sort of classist type of story, I guess, that like the character, at least, how he felt about it. And he argued, he defended himself as saying, no, this has nothing to do with class. This type of pathology that I'm interested in. And the thing about Paul Schrader is, if you've seen a few Paul Schrader movies, you're like, I'm starting to see a through line in these. these protagonists are they're kind of I don't know. They seem like they would. I don't know if they'd be friends, but they're certainly kindred in different ways. And so he's kind of always been in that mode. But Taxi Driver was like his first big breakthrough, writing that. And basically, in his defense, he was like, no, there's wealthy and sophisticated people that are like this too. And the person that he immediately grabbed for was Yukio Mishima. He would say, this is exactly the same type of guy. And then that just got him sort of obsessed. And he co-wrote the movie with his brother. His brother, Leonard, had been living in Japan since the 60s, because he moved there to teach, I forget, English or writing. And he did it to avoid the Vietnam War. So he moved to Japan and he stayed. He married a lovely woman named Chieko, and basically they wrote the script together, and Chieko translated it. They wrote it in English, and she put it into Japanese. On the set of the movies, and I'm just getting into like how they made it, and then we'll get into who Mishima is and why this movie was so sort of controversial that it didn't screen in Japan for 40 years. And then we'll talk about what the fuck a movie is. I've got a structure here. And by the way, as always, eventually, if people are in the waiting room, we'll pull you in here. But you can obviously jump into the Discord, jump in the waiting room talk channel if you want to chat. So this movie, they got. You may notice if you watch it that it says executive produced George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola, and his American Zoetrope was the production company, so they got money from them. And Toho also co-financed it, and it was basically like split in half, more or less. On the set, Paul's directing, and he has basically, and he speaks a little bit of conversational Japanese, but he does not enough to really convey like his thoughts and like what he wants for making such especially a work like this. So we basically had like two conduits, two go-betweens. He had Chieko, who was always on set, and she was primarily conveying direction, or relaying questions from the actors. She was going back and forth with the actors. Alan Poole did a bit as well, but more or less he was also primarily talking to the crew, where the like set stuff up and all that kind of thing. And it was obviously a very different way of working to work with a Japanese film crew on a Japanese film set, from an American one. Alan Poole is I actually, listening to the commentary this time, I got really interested in Alan Poole. He's a fascinating guy. He's directed some movies too. He produced a bunch of movies. He also produced the Tokyo Vice miniseries, which I've talked about before on here, actually, because it factored into the Itami. There's a bit of Itami lore connected to Jake Adelstein, and Ken Watanabe is also in that, and he's in Tampopo, so I brought that up last week. But Alan Poole was like the main executive producer behind that, or one of them. So he and also soon after, or a few years after Mishima, he would also be a producer on the movie Black Rain, Ridley Scott movie, which was kind of a debacle. It started filming in Japan, and and it was like, Alan Poole says that like he didn't realize, because he was so young, that like Mishima was the Mishima set was a very specific set of circumstances, and this was like an actual big Hollywood blockbuster like scale where they were trying to do it in Japan, and like it was such a like awful culture crash that they like could not navigate, and they ended up having to like finish the filming in America. Anyway, for Mishima, they were much more like willing to, you know, this is how things are done here. This is when the crew needs, you know, we need to stop at 12. This is one of the things they talked about. Like, at 12 hours, we stop. When we've hit 12 hours filming, that's the hard stop. And in America, often they would just say, well, we need to get the shot. Keep going a couple hours or whatever, and we'll pay you double time for each hour is how it works in America. And they just like, no, they don't do that, because it's more, they're more concerned with how if the crew is happy, if the crew is you know, it's also like a different like relationships of how they view the director. There's a lot of interesting little nuances in there. I can't recommend this commentary highly enough. It's so good. Actually, I found it. It's all on YouTube, the commentary, and it's a great podcast. So you know, you don't need to watch the movie part of it. You can. It's really a great companion to the movie. The commentary track. But yeah, and so they would, like, they did this whole process of making the movie. Some other really notable collaborators in making the movie. Yeah, you would have thought the Japanese one, which, I mean, they certainly work, like, I think it's like work more without complaint. Like, they work diligently, like it's a different culture of how they work, I would say, possibly. But yeah, when they hit 12, I don't know. They need to get going to the Hostess bars or wherever they gotta go. But other key collaborators actually is we're hearing right now. I've got it playing very low. The Philip Glass score. This is actually being played on piano right now by Maki Nakamakawa. So anyway, just a lovely score by Philip Glass, and actually a score off to the izakaya. The score is one you hear a lot, actually, outside of the context. The very first video I played here was from the one famous Bob's Burgers. It was a Christmas episode, and Gene is playing the theme from Mishima, the closing, actually, with the xylophone orchestra, or whatever you want to call it. And actually, when I would search for Mishima Philip Glass score, one of the top results on YouTube every time you search is Bob's Burgers xylophone song. Like, that's how people find it. And all the comments are like if Bob's Burgers brought you here. Okay, yeah, Abby wants me to talk about how they collabed on the score, but it is kind of crazy how they made this very famous score. Well, two things. One of the ways that Paul Schrader got Philip Glass on board was that he did something very, very atypical for film scores. Typically, almost always, the score to a film is owned by the movie studio, and they own, you know, reuse of that score or whatever. And to get him on board, they gave him complete ownership of the score. Like, they would use it in the movie, and then he would have complete ownership of this, which is why you hear it in commercials. Everybody that asks for it, he's like, yes, please, I will take the money. Yes, absolutely. Use the Mishima score here. So Alan Poole talks a lot about how they use it for temp scores for stuff a lot. Like when they're, you know, we'll do some like really heartwarming music here. They like put the Mishima score or whatever, like some really stirring music. They'll just use the Mishima score. But the way that they wrote it was Paul Schrader wanted Philip Glass, because he had done operas about iconoclastic figures. He had done Einstein, and he had done a one on Gandhi, I believe, and there was another one. And so, he gave Philip Glass the script. Philip Glass read a biography of Mishima. He read some of Mishima's books and writing, and then he kind of wrote like an opera with like all these movements and stuff. Sent it back to Paul. Paul didn't like it. He didn't like the first draft of the score, or like it wasn't right for what he had kind of been making. But like he kind of chopped up what Philip Glass had sent him and reused parts of it and like made a mess of it and kind of chopped and screwed it, for lack of a better term, and put it against, a very loose cut of what the film was at that time, and sent it back to him. And then from that, Philip Glass kind of like started over, or like made the score to like how it was edited there, how he was using that music, how he was thinking about it, and this is where we ended up. So it's a really bizarre collaborative way but it also is kind of cool how it kind of came together, and it's one of the great film scores of all time. In fact, it's going to underscore this entire section of the stream until we get to the quiz, which I'm so excited for the quiz, you guys. I'm not going to wait and get ahead of myself. So now, they make this whole movie, and then they go to Cannes Film Festival, and they're at Cannes, and Paul Schrader is there, and there's a big party for Toho, and they have like posters of all their upcoming movies that are coming or whatever. And Paul Schrader expects to see Mishima on there, and it's not there. And he's like, huh, that's weird. And he like talks to the president of Toho, or one of the top executives at Toho, and he's like, what's going on? Where's Mishima here or whatever? And the Toho executive said, after they filmed 60 days with a totally Japanese Toho crew on the Toho lot, in the iconic Toho studios where they make the fucking Godzilla movies, he looked at the Toho executive, looked at him and said, we don't have anything to do with that movie. That movie's not ours. Because here's what the deal is. Yukio Mishima was actually... Folks, we're talking about... If you love this show because you get to escape the horrendous reality that we live in, well, guess what, folks? We're talking about a right-wing populist today. We're talking about a right-wing nationalist. One of the ultimate right-wing nationalists of all time. Yukio Mishima. And it's fascinating because he wasn't always... he's so funny. He's such a goofball. Well, he wasn't always a right-wing guy. It wasn't, and what's interesting is that he became more interested in right-wing and militarism and stuff like that, and the conservative, politics in the 60s when everybody was doing the opposite, basically. And he is quoted, or at least Paul Schrader has him as saying, I went into the right wing because the left wing was full. Which is, I think, kind of says it. Yeah, and he's also very bisexual or gay in a society that's, still today, but especially 60 years ago, was not going to be cool with that, especially for somebody that he was one of the most visible international Japanese writers, certainly writers, artists, like cultural figures. He was like right up there with like Kurosawa for like an international artist that is associated with Japan. His novels were such a huge international success and this is part of what's interesting for him to become such a hyper nationalist, obsessed with the emperor guy, is that he was also, very cosmopolitan, interested in his international acclaim, getting a big head about being translated into English and all the rest. Yeah, and then he finds early, and that's the other thing, is from a very, very young age, he was immediately, like, very little resistance, just, like, immediately heralded as a genius, because he was, that's the thing. Like, the writing is good. The writing is still celebrated, like, separate from everything about him, which, of course, is also part of the story. But it was good writing. Because he was kind of a fascinating, tortured guy that he put into the writing. But yeah, he also, I think, saw more of a lane. I mean, I watched this movie 2 times this week, and also this week we had Kanye apologize. And to me, Kanye is the most Mishima-coded American of all American cultural figures. Except that instead of releasing the, like, Heil you-know-who song, that maybe he would have... That's the point where maybe the public seppuku would have happened. But instead he's, like, actually getting mental health support. And, I hope he gets... Well, I don't think I'm going to get back on the Kanye train for his cultural output. But I actually do hope that he's being sincere in what he says now, and that he gets well. And then he gets to, like, be a father to his kids. And I think that maybe it's not good for him to be famous, so I don't want to I don't want to help with that anymore, even if he is all better. But, like, it's such a similar kind of path that Mishima took, is it was like... And because it was the same sort of thing, right? When Kanye was like, everyone hates Trump so much, so I gotta love Trump. Like, obviously, because I gotta get the reaction out of people or whatever. Somebody said something about, like, his album's dropping. I don't know. But what is really funny is that... So now that's the official story, is that he was in a bipolar mania, like, total crash out. And it's like, yeah, I buy it. I saw what happened. But it was during his lowest crash out point, where he was releasing a song called HH, and that's when he's celebrated and loved by Charlie Kirk and the conservatives. that his rock bottom is when the fucking reactionaries are like, oh yeah, we got Kanye, we're cool now. And it's like, he's having a fucking mental health spin out that he will never recover from. He's about to print shirts with swastikas on them. All right, you guys go. Anyway, back to Yukio Mishima, our right winger that we're interested in. The other thing is, this is all, of course, we say 1970, that's 25 years. Wait, no, 15 years. Wait. Can I do math? That is 25 years. Yes, 25 years from when World War II ended, and crucially, one of the most important parts of after the conclusion of World War II, was that the emperor had to go on the radio and say, I am a human being. I am a person. He said, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm a human being. You guys seen that one? Yeah. Well, and there's some other things with, like, his childhood. He was, like, sort of kidnapped, kind of, by his grandmother. She kind of, like, just, like, took him and sheltered him for, like, his early childhood until he was sort of, like, junior high, middle school aged. And she basically treated him like a living doll, kind of, like a precious, like, angel that could do no wrong, and like a little emperor himself, kind of, and also was herself, traced ancestry back to whatever shogunate or so on and so forth. And so probably some of those, like, ideas may have been instilled in him there. And then, He starts writing at a young age, immediately celebrated, catapulted to the top. He gets to basically do everything he wants. He acts, he directs, he has it all. He does bizarre photo shoots. Y'all see those photos in the movie? Because the other thing is that he is also a queer man of some sort or another. Is he gay? Was he bisexual? Was he pansexual? Whatever. A bit self-loathing for sure. And he also was a very frail, weak boy, who then, in a very humiliating moment of his, young adulthood, when he was to be conscripted to go fight, for the Japanese in World War II, where they were taking everybody. They were not turning anyone away. And when he got up there, he exaggerated a cough that he had and how he was feeling so ill and how he sometimes coughed up blood. It's all in the movie. And he doesn't, and he gets an exemption, a medical exemption basically, from having to fight. Oh yeah, and she takes him to the theater, which is of course, bad people, bad sorts also go to the theater, and she's a bit scandalized because sort of the commoners are allowed to intermingle with the upper class, which wouldn't have been the case maybe when she was a girl or something. I don't know, but it tells you a lot right there. But that's also the first time that's when he sees the man that's playing a woman in the kabuki show, and he sees backstage the man at his dressing gown, and it's a huge eye-opening revelation moment about how in the theater you could become anything. You could become a woman, and I was watching it. I was like, you know what? I think Mishima's got a bit of egg tendencies, if I'm using this term correctly. I think he may have also even been an egg that did not have. It's possible. It's one possibility, because there wouldn't have been that path for him. But as he went into adulthood and grew fame, he became obsessed with improving his body. He's also a bit Kumail. Where he becomes Kumail is that he turns his body into a work of art itself, and he becomes obsessed with chiseling himself. That's when he does a crazy photo shoot, and then he takes it a step further of being, of his manliness journey of being I'm going to create my own battalion in the army of my special Shield Society soldiers, is what they're called, the Shield Society. They had their own special uniforms that were designed by the tailor of Charles de Gaulle. All this kind of stuff. And then all of that's his life is happening in parallel with his work, which also has such progression. And then this is where the movie's approach to the story is sort of what makes this my favorite movie, and what makes it just such an incredible, immaculately conceived and constructed work, is because it's always going in 3 parallel modes at all times. The movie. It starts us at the very beginning, the cinema verite, final day of his life section. That's handheld cameras. The color grading is meant to be very realistic, sort of documentary almost feeling. And we sort of go little by little through that day up until the moment of his death. Oh yeah, because did I mention that? That's the thing, is that eventually then he tries to do the worst ever coup. If you thought January 6th was an incompetent coup, the Mishima coup is the dumbest conceived coup ever. Almost like he knew it was going to fail, and he kind of just wanted to have a really dramatic, showy death. More or less. He conceived his entire life as a kind of performance art that was inexorably headed to this ridiculous, overblown death that would color all of his work and his place in Japanese culture forever. Almost like that was his final act. which is sort of what Paul Schrader is interested in here. And he's interested in tracing it, obviously in the very mechanics of his life. And so there's the classic flashbacks, which are done in black and white, that are just chapters of his life. They're also filmed in a very sort of classic Japanese style. He even talked about having, in the commentary he mentioned, having lower angle or lower to the ground camera than you normally would have in an English or Western movie. And Alan Poole said, "Oh yeah, the Ozu height," and he's like, "Yes, that's right. Remember when we talked about Ozu at the beginning of the month and how the camera's low?" So those are the black and white flashbacks, and then what really sets the movie just on a whole other level is that they also tell the story through his work, through his stories, through filming and dramatizing 3 pieces of writing that he did at 3 different phases in his life too. And they kind of so the Golden Pavilion was an early story of his, an early collection of his work. It's the first one. Oh god, got louder than I expected. Yeah, he wrote he also is a bit of Bob Fosse in that he makes a movie about here's how I'm gonna die, and then it's like, oh yep, all right. He basically did the same thing of like Babe Ruth calling my death. Golden Pavilion is about a boy with a stutter, or a young man with a stutter, who is so overwhelmed by the beauty of this Golden Pavilion, and it's based on a real event in history of this. Nobody knows why this pavilion that was just so renowned from its beauty, it was gold or whatever, and it actually did burn down. Yeah, can you believe Paul Schrader was talking about Ozu? I actually didn't talk about him that much. It was more Alan Poole that brought him up. And then Kyoko's House is the second one. So the first one is sort of a young man becoming overwhelmed by beauty, drawn by beauty, but also terrified of it, and feeling like he can't fully connect with it without it destroying him in a way. And the second is about a man who's a few years older. He's a young actor, very vain, very narcissistic, who is obsessed with like sort of achieving a kind of perfection in himself. And he finds a wealthy benefactor woman who will give him, whatever he wants, but she has to own him body and soul. And he becomes a work of art to her that she literally carves up with a knife, and he gets off on it, and eventually, that goes how that goes. And then the third story is the craziest. It's Runaway Horses, which is a story about a group of young militarists basically planning a coup of going after and trying to kill some military leadership that they feel are weak. And all 3 of them are very much about his own insecurities. And it's so apparent, and the movie and the way that it hops between these parallel structures of the flashback, the present day. The present day is kind of like a framing device for the beginning, like it's what you see first, and then it's like sort of between the stories, and then the stories will bounce between the story and the flashback. And then when the story, it actually doesn't, it ends right before the final climax, each of these stories. And then and then once he finally reaches his final end, then all of those stories end at once, because the whole thing, and I'm gonna let you on in just a second, Krem, after I finish my point here, is that all of these 3 parallel structures that you're moving between start to like continue each other. Like they start to like not just sort of echo or contextualize each other, which they're always doing, but they like, especially when you get to like Runaway Horses, and then it cuts to him in flashback with the Shield Society also planning and having them signing loyalty oaths in blood and stuff, like right alongside, you know, a planning scene from Runaway. It like feels like almost a continuation. So like the flashbacks catching up to the present, the stories are catching up to his life. His stories are becoming more like his life. And the final act of his life is this elaborately conceived for years, all of his life, ultimate theatrical move, that media event. He had called all of the TV stations, so he was ready for this to be, you know, this grand spectacle. So the reality moves up to the theatrical world of the stories. So all of these things converge into the finally his final day, which only has a few flashbacks to a couple of things, but it's mostly just their docudrama, and it all just feels like when he goes and he does this ridiculous speech out and it doesn't work at all. Again, it's just like, did he really think this is gonna work? And he comes back and he gets ready to commit seppuku. You're like, this is both a very absurd, ridiculous man, and also this is the most inevitable thing there's no other way that his life could end. It's all been heading right to this. And yeah, it's a Paul Schrader story, but it's also such a Japanese, I mean, it's not a Japanese, like he associated himself so much with Japan. He bowed to the emperor before he committed seppuku in the same way that kamikaze pilots would do before they would take off for their final flights. He made himself so wanting to represent what Japan was, but then after his death, and this is when we're getting to why the movie didn't screen in Japan for 40 years, and then I'll let Cremont talk. After his death, he went from being this hugely influential, important Japanese figure to being like, we don't talk about him. We don't talk about him. If we talk about him, we talk about his work. We talk about his books. We still, because his and then this is where his widow comes in, and, you know, the mother of Mishima's children and his wife was really protective of his legacy. I think for understandable reasons. I mean, she's looking out for her family. She wants to make sure her kids are, you know, taken care of, and like that his work continues to be at least the work continues to be respected, and that can continue to, you know, provide for them or whatever. And they do get her initial cooperation with the movie. Actually, they send Chieko, Leonard Schrader's wife, and in a way a co-writer on the film, I like to think, because translating that whole thing, like she, you know, she really is I think a really important part of the entire thing. But she went and she got her to initially agree to support, and they were even going to do stuff like at one point they were going to film at their house, but then it started to the relationship started to cool a bit as it went on. I think as she the way that Paul Schrader describes it is that he sort of either misled her or overstated how much influence she would have, because she would have had like a consulting sort of credit, like, and she was sort of misunderstood or was misled as to what that meant. That she thought that meant she would get to dictate some things, like, no, you can't do that, you can't do that. And it was just saying, no, you can advise, you can tell us what you'd like, what you think, and we'll take it into consideration. But it's not like, you know, binding. And what she really objected to was all the gay stuff. All the stuff about him being gay. Wasn't him going crazy and all the, you know, all that stuff's well documented journalistically, but his homosexuality was what was really embarrassing for her, and why she like became against it. And also parallel to this, at the same time, is right-wing forces. Can you believe it? They have right-wing politics they have right-wing politics in Japan too. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Can you believe this? Japan actually not too tolerant of other races and other cultures and immigrants either? Do you guys know this? Anyway, so but the ultra far right, even you know, for Japan back then in the 80s, and still today, claim Mishima a bit and think that he was right about, the Japanese character and the emperor and all these sort of things, and returning to the sort of old, samurai kind of code ways. There it has been a reclamation of him, and so in the 80s, the wife was kind of able to basically stir up enough furor or whatever from political forces and whatnot that eventually, and sort of the Japanese way, is if something's going to be like way too controversial, it's going to create a big ruckus sort of thing, it's better to just avoid it, I think. And they just didn't want to have all the hassle. It wasn't worth it to them, even though it actually was. For like, people were like, "Oh, it's a low budget film," and Alan Poole was like, "It actually wasn't that low budget for Japan. It was like $5 million split between, the American studio and Toho, and $2.5 million is like a decently funded movie for Japan at the time. So like, but they said, walk away, was not allowed to be publicly screened in Japan until this past October. I believe it was coming on the centennial of Mishima's birth, and last year would have also been the 40th anniversary of the movie. So, finally screened in Japan. I can't tell you the number of times I Googled this week critical reactions to Mishima screening at the end of 2025. I searched it, and I got a lot of great features that were written about it. Great quotes from Paul Schrader and stuff, like a lot of great stuff, but nothing that was just like, what was the audience for? I mean, it sold out in 10 minutes. It was, a lot of anticipation in the room. Paul Schrader spoke for a long time before it about the movie, and it was well received in the room. But I couldn't find a Japanese critic or something talking about what they thought of the movie. So now that it And it's not like you couldn't buy it in Japan. Like you could go to an import store and get it, but it was not allowed to be publicly screened. So it's a huge sort of sea change, and it's sort of an indication of how they're ready to kind of, deal with this part of their history a bit. And I think the 40 years to Paul is he was probably most anticipating what the Japanese audience's reaction was going to be, more so than the American reaction. So he finally got it, but it was the most delayed thing. So that's why I'm really interested, because I do think that he did really right by Mishima. As a fascinating figure, not like you need to do right by him because he's a good guy. Anyway, I've babbled long enough. He's been waiting 15 minutes. Just clicked over to 15 minutes in the waiting room. Let's bring Krem in here. Hey, Krem, what's up? You're on now. You might not be ready. That's all right. You were waiting for a long time. Whenever you're...
Hey, I'm trying to figure out where the audio is coming from.
Oh, there you go.
From my,
Yeah, Discord. They are always switching it up on you on Discord. You got to watch out. So you just watched the movie, huh?
God damn it. I'm sorry. I can't.
Oh, you can't actually.
At all.
Oh, wow. You can't hear me, maybe, even. Because I can hear you. But I'm feeling that you probably can't hear me. Is what may be happening. You guys sick of this music yet? Too bad.
The only audio I'm getting from you is from the stream, not the Discord call for some reason, which is really.
Oh wait, you know what? Maybe it is me actually. Hang on a second. Let me make sure. Oh yeah. Oh no, it should be coming from my microphone. Weird. Yeah, I don't know.
Let me just shut up for a little bit and try to figure this out on my end, I guess.
All right. Yeah, no worries. I guess the some other things to talk about here with this movie is of course the casting is great. All of Ken Ogata, who plays Mishima, was a really big star at the time. Oh, you don't hear any? The music was just low. It's just low, Abby. It's fine.
The audio was trying to come out of my microphone, which is not where my.
Yeah. No, that's right.
On me.
No, it's all good. You never know with Discord though. Like I say, they switch randomly. So yeah, you just watched the movie, huh?
I just watched it, which is funny because a friend who moved away recently had a big Blu-ray collection and was giving away all their stuff, and they were like gifting movies to friends based on what they thought their like interest would be, and this friend gave me this film, this movie, and I really loved it. I just finished it. Like I was late to watching the stream because I was watching it.
How dare you? The first 10 minutes are the most important.
I'm pretty sick, so I'll not talk too long because I don't.
Yeah,
want
no
to
worries.
cough and bother anybody. But I really just wanted to talk about like there's one point in particular like that I keep thinking about, because even though this really isn't like necessarily like, this is much more of like a artistic, like a film about artistry and about like the psychology of art but like even though it's not really like a political film per se, there's a lot of politics happening that are like contextualizing and informing this, like the psychological and like artistic aspects that are happening. Two things that I want to quickly say are like, you were right. He's like weirdly cosmopolitan for a fascist.
Right. Well, it's sort of like the contradictions. Like the contradictions remind me of Trump, frankly. You know, like where Trump is like such a everyman, but he's so not. But also he eats McDonald's only. Like so he's like those contradictions.
He loves McDonald's, and he loves the sound of not the sound of music. He loves Phantom of the Opera, but like not for the reason that the average person does, because like he was at the premiere and it was like a big spectacle or whatever, you know. It's like there's all these like idiosyncrasies which only help to like reinforce the like psychoticness of the individual being perceived, like, which is like for example, him being so cosmopolitan. Like there's the scene where he's like being interviewed about this new work he's made, and he like every time he speaks to a crowd, he has people like wrapped around his finger.
Oh yeah, the press conference.
Jokes. Yeah, everyone's laughing at his jokes. He's like totally like nice and like sort of self-deprecating and funny. But then like the second he starts being serious and talking like about himself or things he cares about, he gets so weepy and so pretentious about like the art of destruction or whatever. Right. And he also like, you know, he's directing and acting in his own works. He's specifically doing stuff based on what the international audiences will think of his works. Like he's like, oh, if the French love shadows, we have to have more shadow in this scene or whatever.
Right, and he's doing like, even though he writes these very high-minded, poetic, really like, you know, even the highest intellectual like literary figures, like he was considered the very top of the top. These movies he would make would be these like gangster yakuza movies. Like he sort of was like going like sort of what you're saying, like in the populist mode, or even the one where he like the sort of short film where he enacted his suicide that he eventually did. Like these were, like you're saying, like he was giving the people what they wanted a bit, even though he's like he's absolutely playing the hits while also saying everything about himself. Right.
Sorry. He all this like to say that it's really like in that same conference he also says that his favorite artist or his favorite author is Thomas Mann, and which is like all about like the psychology of the artist and like all about like what to like sort of like a Nietzschean like understanding of what beauty and like creation mean or whatever.
And he says he wants to be Elvis Presley also.
Exactly. And
an interesting person to want to be. And the another funny in that scene, one of the first questions that's shown, and one that he kind of isn't as warm about, actually, is an American journalist who's actually played by Alan Pohl, who asks in Japanese, but he's clearly an American guy. Asks, do you have any like political message to your work?
Exactly, and
he says no. That's it. No,
he's like nope, no politics
Next
at all.
question, and then he's and then he's working the room and everybody's laughing like he's just like
as if like his entire life is politics. Like his entire like everything he does, even if he says it's like not, is like inherently political, which is like the second point I wanted to make, which I think ties into that, is that when he goes to the radical left, like the student protest movement in Tokyo.
Wait, hang on. I actually had a joke I wanted to do for this, which is
Wait,
hang on, actually. We are Mishima, we carry the flame. Because he was totally on his Charlie Kirk shit when he's going and epically owning the college students. So.
He goes there to quote unquote try to like heal a divide or whatever, and like be like, okay guys, we all want Japan to get better. Why can't we all just be on the same side? And everyone's like, shut the fuck up. We hate you. You are like the embodiment of like by jerking off the emperor all the time and like trying to be obsessed with like the Bushido code or whatever.
Right.
You are literally like you are limiting Japan's ability to do anything good at all. And his total inability to work that crowd directly leads to him, at least in the film, like he gets the inspiration to finish the ending of his Runaway Horses in a way that he dies like doing what he himself is going to do and knows he's going to die and knows it's going to fail, but in a way that's like still valiant and still like still draws inspiration even though it doesn't actually change anything at all or whatever. And it's just him calling his shot, but it's like his shot sucks. No one wants it.
Well, it's the my favorite concept and brought up a bunch in the movie is the harmony of pen and sword, which is a Japanese concept separate from Mishima, but it's something that he was obsessed with and he talked about. One of the great quotes in the movie, I think I'm getting this right, is he says, "I want my life to be lived like a line of poetry written in blood." That was actually part of his initial. He didn't do this when he actually committed seppuku, but his initial thought was that he would do the seppuku, he would bring the blade across his belly, and then he would write calligraphy. He would write a line of a kanji line of poem.
Tortured artist.
Yeah. But by the way, they don't show it in the movie, but he fucked up his seppuku and his second fucked up cutting his head off. He did. And it took them forever to cut his head off. He was it was not glorious. But I actually love that the movie
shaking the katana.
The movie ends it there because it is about his conception. Like this is what it is. It's the harmony of pen and sword. And so like the first story is beauty. The second story is art. And creation and creating yourself as a work of art. And then the third story, Runaway Horses, is action, and that's what he's about. And it's putting these, it's marrying your, your point of view, your work with actually like it's your life is your work now. And that's sort of like the thing about him being like performance art.
And like the most beautiful thing you can do with your work, whether it's art or like whether it's your life, is end it. Is to go out in an absolute blaze of glory
and to completely control those terms of it, and
But of course, anyone who really believes that, and anyone who is so obsessively like committed to like rectifying the inherent like division between art and action insofar as he sees it, like that's the exact person who's going to like fuck it up and get their head like chopped off by a teenager over the course of like a half hour on like a national stage.
Because it's megalomania, right? Like it's pure narcissism. And yeah, so it's like ultimately with this kind of malignant narcissism that is in a lot of Schrader protagonists like Travis Bickle and Travis Bickle, one of the most like loneliest characters that you can imagine in film. And I think Mishima is sort of the same thing, is that even though he has all this respect and stuff, like there's something about when you have that level of narcissism,
he has no connection to anybody,
right? That it's a lonely existence. And so while he presents himself as this whole thing of like Japan, it's like ultimately it's a very selfish guy, and that's hot take.
I think that dynamic is reflected in the protagonists of the works of art that he makes that we see in the film, because even the guy in Runaway Horses who has this like his own little band of like militia or whatever, there's no human connection like for any of those characters either. But Mishima tries to like create beauty through the tragedy of the protagonist being an awful fuck up. I don't know. I really liked the movie a lot. I'll go out by saying this. I just glanced at the Wikipedia because I wanted to learn some more about this film before I got on here. Apparently, the cinematographer screened a film called, I think it's called Gyoki or something. It's just like a old samurai film. He screened, or they screened it for the cast to be like, here's a vibe reference that we sort of want for what the look's going to be. That film stars none other than our late great goat Tatsuya Nakadai.
Oh,
so
there's a Mishima movie actually that Tatsuya did with, Mishima did with Tatsuya Nakadai just a couple of years before his death, and that's the one I really want to find. Dub True, if you're watching, I'm going to send a request. My friend Will, who I am on his Plex. I really want to see
the other thing I wanted to say real quick before I go is that the lead actor apparently was never supposed to be
right.
Who it was.
No, that's a good reminder. That actually closes the loop. So originally they wanted it to be the guy that was the star of the Yakuza, the movie that they wrote, and it was his initial idea. And the whole time they were writing it, they were envisioning him in the part because he, and this is the thing, is that Mishima had such a specific look. He actually was, I'm going to say it, he was a good deal more handsome than Ken Ogata. Yukio Mishima was actually, he was a fucking snack. He was really handsome, a guy. And he was also very, effete, very intellectual, upper class kind of guy, obviously, as we've said. But the guy that they were picturing for this role the whole time, basically, as they were like, okay, we're gonna make the movie now, he had to basically pull out because he had been getting physically ill thinking about doing the movie because he knew that it was going to be this whole thing. He knew it would be like a whole
that, the ultranationalist party, whether they're necessarily even like a plurality in Japanese larger sociopolitical culture at that time or not. It's just because ultranationalism, I mean, of course there's clearly been a very steady and cultivated segment of the Japanese population over the last 100+ years, or whatever, that have been staunchly right-wing, staunchly very, very traditionalist or whatever. Even if that necessarily isn't a huge amount of people, or they don't have any sort of specific political sway, they just have a chokehold over what does and does not get to happen there.
Right. It's enough. It's enough to create the controversy, to create the fear in some people. And that's a lot. I mean, look, that's global. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right.
But Ken Ogata was much more of a renegade type of guy that wasn't afraid to sort of be a bad boy and he was a great actor, and they knew he didn't look anything like Mishima, and they could have found, they saw models and bodybuilders and stuff that, but they weren't actors. And Ken Ogata was a well-known and a famous at the time actor in Japan. And so they did end up going with him, but and Paul Schrader's and that was the right call every time. But he's they know he didn't really look like him. But what was great was that he sort of I think Ogata had kind of a chip on his shoulder about it, wanting to really prove it. And there's the one sequence where he's with the kendo sword in whatever it's called. And he's going and doing a whole sequence with the sword, and he's moving around, and he's basically practicing. And he apparently had just been agonizing over that and had been running before they started filming. That was the part he had been just rehearsing because there had been all this chatter about, well, he's too much of a everyman type of guy. He plays too common of characters. He can't be this sort of high-minded, and so it's he really wanted to nail this very graceful thing, and apparently right after they did it in one take, and after it finished there was a moment of silence, and Paul Schrader was all right, cut, and the crew just burst into applause because they were just so impressed.
He absolutely kills it in the entire movie. It's a great movie. It looks incredible. It sounds incredible. It feels incredible. Great movie. Great movie to have as your favorite movie. So great job, Lord Gugu.
Yeah, thanks.
Congratulations to you.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hey, have a good one, Kremen. Stick around for the quiz. It's going to be a good time. All right. Last thing I want to say before, and then we'll move on to the quiz. I did forget to shout out one crucial contributor, and that's the production designer, I should say the production designer of the stories. She does the theatrical stories. But this is one of the most visionary film artists, Aiko Ishioka. You know her work if you've seen Bram Stoker's Dracula. And let me ask you something. What's the best part of Bram Stoker's Dracula? Yeah, it's the crazy shit they wear. It's the fucking insane fucking Dracula armor. And that's Aiko Ishioka. Aiko Ishioka then also would go on to be the main costume designer for Tarsem Singh. So like The Fall, all these like The Cell, like all these very visually incredible movies. She did either costumes and then production design for this. And she was going to do the costumes as well in a similarly exaggerated, very theatrical style. And Paul Schrader's like, that's going to be too much. And he's right. He was right, by the way. It's better that they're wearing like, you know, like more grounded costumes in these really insane worlds. But her production design is one of my favorite aspects of this. Some of these sets, just people like, honestly, even if you don't see the film, just look at images from the film. Like this one, this one. This is one of her. This is her. This is her work right here. She completely came up with this setting actually, and she described it to Paul Schrader, and he like couldn't even picture it, and she's like, just let me do it, and then it's like one of his favorite locations. Yeah, Mishima. I've gone through all my music, and that was a great time. I mean, fuck. I could talk about Mishima. I could sit here and talk for 3 more hours, but I'm glad that some people watched it. I hope that some of you that haven't yet, oh, the little goofy little uniforms. Yeah, I mean, everything. I mean, there's so many cool tidbits that you get from the commentary and just from digging into this movie. So yeah, I'm glad everybody enjoyed it and liked revisiting it or starting it. But folks, who's ready? Who's ready to quiz? All right. It's time for the final exam. It's the Japanuary final exam. So here's how this works, everybody. Go to, on your browser, it's just like a Jackbox game. Go to Kahoot, KAHOOT.IT. Don't do the app. You don't need to do the app. And then you put in this code there, this 7-digit code. That's a lot of digits. Yeah, okay, there's Krem. Yeah, when we get some people in, we can accommodate up to 50, so should be all good. For as many you want to join, there's Gitson. Hey. Yeah, we'll give it a few minutes for people to join in here. And yeah, this quiz, I don't know, it's a bit difficult. Unless you are me. I will say there is an anime round. The final round is an anime round, and it's double points. So I put that one in there to help some people if they were falling behind. I gotta make sure that I'm showing everything in case, because this is gonna have all the questions. I'm gonna make myself smaller. We're only gonna have 3? Come on. I'm waiting for a Tribal Scrabble to join in here. You can just do it on your phone browser. Hang on, I'm gonna even post on Blue Sky. I don't know. I don't think I did a Cowboy Bebop because Cowboy Bebop doesn't have a movie as a show. Or was there a Cowboy Bebop movie? Take an ad break. Thank you. I do think that people will be able to join once we start. So maybe I'll just give it another minute or two. Gaijin detected. I've gotten really into sound fonts. Y'all ever look at sound fonts? So right now this is Heroes by David Bowie, but with the Super Mario 64 sound font. And so I got a lot of Super Mario 64 sound fonts. I got the whole all of Brian Wilson's Smile and the Super Mario sound font. Super Mario 64 sound font. I also just like the concept of a sound font. All right, we'll start with these 5. Just so you know. Okay, great. Since we only have 5, I'm only going to do a first place prize, because otherwise it'll be too easy, and I feel too bad for the 2 people that don't get prizes. So first place, I will give you, just give me your email, and you will get a $50 gift card to Criterion.com. So you just buy $50 of Criterion. Whatever you want. That's going to be the plan, all right? We ready? Let's go. Let's start. Oh, wow. Hang on. Why is it? No. Oh, shit. Okay, I see. All right. Here we go. The Japanuary final exam. All right. Looks like I'm capturing all of it. Good. All right. Round 1. Make sure this is all in here. And I'm going to resize this. Okay. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. All right. Movie posters. So, I'm going to show you a movie poster. It's a Japanese movie poster, though. And then you have to identify what the movie is. Ready? And I think it's 15 seconds for these. What movie is this? Is it Gamera, Godzilla, Yongari, or The Taste of Green Tea Over Rice? And there's the countdown going. All right, everybody got it. Everyone got it. Oh, and I will say that you do get more points answering quicker. So you are rewarded for quicker answers. You can take that into consideration. Here we go. What movie is this? Is it Shall We Dance? Mimbo, The Art of Japanese Extortion, Tokyo Drifter, or A Taxing Woman? Oh, shit. I didn't think about that. Hang on. The delay is bad. It is A Taxing Woman. Fuck, I didn't think about the delay. Is the delay totally ruining this? Fuck. All right. It's especially bad because Abby's watching on the app. Okay. What movie is this? Ikiru, Princess Kaguya, Sing a Song of Sex, or Late Spring? It is making it extra tough. Ikiru, Princess Kaguya, Sing a Song of Sex, or Late Spring? Ikiru is right! Okay, we got some people saying it's playable. Alright. Young Comic Sans dominating. What movie is this? Woman in the Dunes, House or Hausu, Sing a Song of Sex, or Agemon, Tales of a Golden Geisha? Three, two, one. Woman in the Dunes. Oh. Take an ad break, climbing. Let's keep going. What movie is this? Is it Pulse, Akira, Audition, or Cure? Three, two, one. Cure. Oh, only one got it. It is Cure. Oh, Young Comic Sans opening up that lead. What movie is this? Is it Good Morning, Tokyo Story, Late Spring, or The Taste of Green Tea Over Rice? By the way, every one of these titles are real movies, except for one question. I did make up movie titles, but you'll know when that is. It is Late Spring. Nobody got it. This was my hardest question because they are all Ozu movies, and who can really tell? It was Late Spring. Oh, that one was too hard. What movie is this? Himiko, Lady Snowblood, Demon Pond, or Ghost in the Shell? It is Lady Snowblood. Oh, Young Comic Sans dominating. All right, what movie is this? Translated Japanese title. Is it Mordecai, Mustache for Hire, Mordecai, or Mr. Mordecai Won't Marry, or Charlie Mordecai, The Secret of the Magnificent Painting? 10 seconds. Which is the actual Japanese title that they released under? It is Charlie Mordecai, The Secret of the Magnificent Painting. But I like that people like the Mustache for Hire. Oh, that was a trick one. Oh, Krem got it. All right. Next round. Round to who? What's going to happen is it's going to... actually, this might be a debacle. A picture is going to appear slowly over time, and you're just to identify who the person is. Round to who? Who is this? Now, as we watch it come together, is it Tatsuya Nakadai, Takashi Shimura, Akira Kurosawa, or Toshiro Mifune? Okay, 10 seconds. I think you can already, if you know who it is, you should be able to. You know! That's Toshiro. Young Comic Sans. Who is this? Is it Masaki Kobayashi, Kenji Mizuguchi, Akira Kurosawa, or Seijun Suzuki? Just one of my favorite looking guys, this guy. Oh, he's got such a good look. Such a powerful look. That's Kobayashi. That's my favorite Japanese director right there. Oh, now people are like, I'm not even gonna guess. Look at this battle. Who is this? Safari Hat gave it away. Is this Shima Iwashita, Haruko Sugimura, Machiko Kyo, or Setsuko Hara? Three, two, one. Oh, that's the great Setsuko Hara. Oh, sorry to the Haruko Sugimura fans, but that is the great Ozu collaborator Setsuko Hara. I told you it was hard. Who is this? Is it Koji Yakusho, Hidetoshi Nishijima, Masato Hagiwara, or Takashi Kitano? One of the goats, one of the all-time goats here. I mean, all four of these guys that I've listed here are also goats in their own right. But that's Koji. That's Koji. That's Koji Yakusho. Oh, Young Comic Sans and just extending his lead. Who is this? Is it Tetsuo Tamba, Susumu Yamazaki, Tatsuya Nakadai, or Takashi Shimura? 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Tatsuya Nakadai. Oh, wow. A few people got that one. Who is this? Oh, yeah, this is my favorite one. Is this Gigan, or Gigan, King Ghidorah, Destoroyah, or Megalon? Which one is it? Oh, wow, 4 for 4, King Ghidorah. They know the most important Japanese figures. Everybody here in the chat. Who is this? Nobuko Miyamoto, Rinko Kikuchi, Mariko Okada, or Mari Natsuki? So you may remember last week when I was talking about how she would always have really bad haircuts in other movies. Yeah, that was Supermarket Woman, Nobuko Miyamoto, Yuzo Itami's wife and main collaborator, starred in all his movies. Who is this? Toshiro Mifune, Ken Ogata, Yukio Mishima, or Chishu Ryu? Three, two, one. Another trick one. It's the actual guy. That's the photo of the actual Yukio Mishima and not the Ogata reenacting it in the... So it was kind of a trick question, sorry, but that was the real one. Gets in, moving up. Who is this? Minoru Chiaki, Takeshi Kitano, Takeshi Miike, or Us All These Days, Am I Right? LOL. It is Takeshi Kitano, but Us All These Days, LOL would have also counted as a right answer, by the way. I made both of them right answers. All right. That's round two. That's round two done. All right. Now, this is actually the hardest round. I'm sorry. But at least the options are always the same. Okay? This is round 3, Stu Studio. You're supposed to identify or more likely guess whether each movie that I'm going to show you was related by one of 4 options: Toho, Daiei, Shochiku, or other. Daiei is no longer active. It went defunct in 2002, but they released a lot of big stuff. Shochiku and Toho are still going. And then other is everything else. So let's go. Which studio made/released Seven Samurai? Was it Toho, Shochiku, Daiei, or other? And yes, I did have to keep the Toho checkerboard background. Yes, that's the most Toho, one of the most Toho movies, Seven Samurai. I tried to make the first one a little more obvious. Which studio made or released Harakiri? Toho, Shochiku, Daiei, or other? Shochiku! Yes. Oh, Young Comic Sans didn't get that one. Uh-oh, Krem's moving up. He can do it. Which studio made or released Kiki's Delivery Service? Toho, Shochiku, Daiei, or other? It is other. It was one of 2 Ghibli or Miyazaki films that were not released by Toho. That and Porco Rosso, but the rest were eventually released by Toho, or at least the ones after that. Young Comic Sans, comfortably there. Which studio made or released Your Name? Toho, Shochiku, Daiei, or other? Your Name is a very good anime film. I like. It's a romance, like teen romance anime. It's nice. It's actually one of the most successful Japanese movies of the past 10 years or so. Anyway, good movie. Toho. It was a Toho release. Which studio made or released Shall We Dance? Not the Richard Gere one. That was a remake that was bad. The original with Koji Yakusho. It is a Daiei. Who got it? Who got it? See, I love that everybody's clearly guessing these. I'm sorry. I said this was the hardest round. Which studio made or released Demon Pond? Formerly discussed on this show with Pat. Toho, Shochiku, Daiei, or other. Yeah, the Black Star is really good. Everybody knew Seven Samurai. Good on the Shochiku guess, whoever got that. Oh, looks like it was Krem. Uh-oh, Krem. Knocking. Which studio made or released Ichi the Killer? Toho, Shochiku, Daiei, or other. It was way too depraved for the major studios. I actually don't know if that's why, but it was not any of them. So yeah, Young Comic Sans says no, Krem, no. He's doing the Dikembe Mutombo. No. All right. Daiei is fucking me. What studio made or released Floating Weeds? Ozu movie, Floating Weeds. Toho, Shochiku, Daiei, or other. Floating Weeds is a movie about actors. Daiei released that one. And wow, Young Comic Sans knew that one. Which studio made / released Monster Hunter? Yes, that one. Toho, Shochiku, Daiei, or other. Oh, that's a great time watching Ozu stuff. That's right. Toho was one of the main studios behind Monster Hunter. All right. Young Comic Sans streak 3 in a row. All right. Double points. Actually, I'm going to turn the music down even quieter. Because these are audio clues. It's going to say the name of the character, but then it will also describe who the character is. You listen for it. Oh, actually, I need to make sure that. Just realized I don't know if the volume is going to. I have to actually listen to their shitty music because that's going to have. That's going to be the audio. It's a robo voice. Describing some anime characters, and you're to identify what movie the anime character is from. This is the Animazing Race, double points, and only 5 questions. Here we go. What anime film is Sonoshi McLaren from?
Sonoshi McLaren is a hover jet racer and winner of the Yellow Line race that qualifies her to compete in the titular race.
Is she in Red Line, Blue Line, Robo World, or Funky Boy? Which those are actually fake titles, but they are all things related to the movie, especially Funky Boy. All right. Yes, that's Red Line. Oh ho ho. Everybody's still in it. What anime film is Calcifer from?
Calcifer is a fire demon and source of the castle's magic, and he is voiced by Billy Crystal in the English dub.
Is that Castle in the Sky? Pompoko? No, it's Howl's Moving Castle. Everybody knew that one. Everybody knew Howl's Moving Castle. And was fast on it, too. They're in it to win it. All right. What anime film is Hannah from?
Hannah is an unhoused trans woman who finds an abandoned baby with her 2 friends on Christmas Eve.
I don't know about your inflection on that. Anyway, Jesus, it's loud. That's Tokyo Godfathers. Who got it? Oh, why did I even have to ask? It was Young Comic Sans. Of course it was. Krem, oh no, you blew it. Okay, what anime film is Tetsuo Shima from?
Tetsuo Shima is a teenage biker who develops powerful psychic abilities after experimentation by the Japanese military.
Is that Appleseed, Akira, Demon City Shin? I couldn't even get out of it. See, these ones were too easy. Either too hard or too easy. Too hard or too easy. Last one, I think. What anime film is Mima from?
Mima Kirigo is a J-pop idol who decides to leave her group Cham to become a full-time actress.
Is that Perfect Blue, Millennium Actress, Paprika, or Mind Game? You know it's Perfect Blue. All right, let's see this podium. In third place, Gitson. Second, Krem. Oh, but running away with it in first, Ultimate Weeb, Young Comic Sans. Oh, look, and there's the runners-up, fourth and fifth. Swell. Good game, everybody. Hey, thanks for playing my little quiz. Yeah, the actor round. Look, this was an experiment. I think it was fun. I learned some things about calibrating this. But yeah, I paid for a whole year of this, so I'll probably do another one at some point. But take, Young Comic Sans. I either message me on Discord, or you can message me in here on Twitch. I never know how to do the Twitch messaging though. And just let me know your email, and then I'll get you a $50 gift card to Criterion. You earned it through your weebiness. Thank you so much. And otherwise, I think that's gonna be about it. It was an extra long one because we had this quiz. I haven't seen Marty Supreme yet. Don't spoil it. No spoilers. I do need to see Marty Supreme. I need to see Marty Supreme. I still need to see Hamnet. And I need to see shit. I actually have this written down. It's on the top of my Bobskers. Testament of Ann Lee. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you had fun, even though it was really hard. Yeah, that was fun. And tomorrow I have I'm so excited for the playlist. I've just been excitedly telling Abby all the stuff I have in the playlist for tomorrow. I'm excited for Ann Lee. I love musicals. And I love Amanda Seyfried, actually. I really do. I really think she's awesome, actually. She was the only part of Mank I liked. I fucking hated Mank. And that tells you that I was like, well, she was good. Everything else about Mank I hated. Thanks for loving Japanuary, guys. We got PTA-bruary next month. So we're gonna be watching Boogie Nights next Saturday. Possibly will 8 p.m. be the time going forward. I'm gonna think on it a bit. I kind of like it. It might be the new time. But yeah, tomorrow will be 6 p.m. And we are going to watch one of the funniest movies ever, The Wrong Guy. So how fun is that gonna fucking be, huh? So come back for that. What a great stream, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out, doing the quiz. And we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Toronto, Cannes, Berlin, and Sundance, everybody.
Oh, R.I.P. Catherine. I didn't change this yet.
Good movies, chat about. Good movies. Good movies. Good movies.
It's either ripped off him entirely or it was inverted, so it's all on the inside now where his tummy